So, anything else to talk about Atlanta United? Who do we have next? We have Miami next on the road.
Thank God anybody can get healthy against Miami.
Yeah.
Phil Neville's a terrible coach.
And our boy Joseph is he's
struggling.
He's got 0 goals.
Yep.
Seriously?
Zero goals.
Zero.
Oh.
Yeah. So not good. Not good. We certainly are happy to have the Greek as a substitute.
Yes.
So win against Miami.
Yeah, if you can't win against Miami, it's a really long season.
Because we'll
But
probably
right now, not only are we not having a system that's working really well for us, you can see, and it's on Pineda, right? So last season, he said we had bad apples, right? He said Josef Martinez had a bad attitude, right? And we got to get rid of him or whatever. Honestly, in this last game against Nashville, you know who looked exactly like Josef Martinez on the field? Almada. He looked frustrated. He wasn't working that hard. He was yelling at people, right? He's frustrated. You cannot play that poorly tactically and keep good players in the mold, right? They just can't.
Yeah, like Miles letting up the 3rd goal.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Miles Robinson, you might say.
Well, he didn't let up, but he could. I think he was athletic enough to prevent it.
Yes, and that is a classic example. So are you going to sit here and say that Miles Robinson has a bad attitude? Have you ever seen him have a bad? But he's frustrated enough that very first moment, instead of really busting to get it back, he put his head down for a second and let the guy run by him.
Yep. And then when it counted at the end, that last little turbo juice, he wasn't willing to give it.
Yeah. Or he was spent. He was frustrated. He'd gone forward and he was just like, forget it.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
So really, do you think we're going to beat Miami just because the Miami team just doesn't have their shit together with
they're
Neville?
really bad.
Yeah. Because I mean, to be fair, Nashville was a decent team, right? They've got 2 seasoned U.S. men's, not seasoned, but U.S. men's national team level players with
Shaq Moore
and Walker Zimmerman, right? And then they've got the reigning MVP. So they've got some players.
They're a good team. But the thing about Nashville is Nashville can't score except for us. Against us, right? So that's the thing, right? So Nashville can be frustrating. They're very good defensively. They're hard to break down.
Because Mukhtar had a slow start to the season, but Mukhtar can score.
He has not had a slow start to the season. He actually is ahead of his MLS MVP numbers. That's what they said in the game. Last year at this point, he had like 4 goals and he had like 5 assists. And this year he has 5 goals and like 7 assists or something. He's ahead of last year's pace.
Okay. I thought the commentators made some comment of him not being on pace, but
I don't think so.
I will trust you on that. I'll go with you on that.
But anyway, they can't score.
Yeah.
And the only guy who can score for them is Hani Mukhtar. So if you design a system to really shut him down, right, you can go into Nashville and, at worst you get a tie because they can't score, right? They're just not a good offensive team overall. And we made them look like a better offensive team than they are because – when you give a guy like Hani Mukhtar on both of those goals, so the 3rd goal, it was Hani Mukhtar who got a chance to turn and run, and he played the killer ball. On the 2nd goal, he ran all the way into the defense and got the shot off with the rebound.
I don't think we're going to win against Miami because I don't think George Giacomakis is going to be available. I think we're going to hold him out at least another game, if not 2.
Yeah,
just to be cautious. I think it's the right time to do that and be a little cautious with that guy. And he's just such an X factor that elevates your Almada, to your point, on the tactical board.
Yep.
It frees everything up. It makes everybody feel confident. And it's kind of my prediction for the year at this point. Like, for us to be in any sort of competitive position, I don't think we're going to be top 3 at this point.
Nope.
But if we are going to be like in 3rd place, I think it's going to require that everybody is healthy and we go on like some lucky health run, that all of our starting players that you just had on the tactical board are largely there for the rest of the season. That would put us in 3rd place. And so we know the odds of that are very low, right? People are out for stretches, muscle pulls or whatever. So I think we're going to end up 6th in the table come, playoff time.
I said at the beginning of the season, the preseason, we we're talking about like, if it goes well to begin with, we might get going. We have the talent. Maybe the talent just does things, but we're one stretch of a couple bad games away from this all going into the tank because there's no system.
Yeah.
Right. So if there's a system, if there's a way of going about it, you don't go into those funks. You cannot suddenly go and lose 7 straight games. But if you have no system and you're relying on individual players, they get frustrated. The moment they get frustrated, if Almada and Yakamakis are frustrated and don't start playing well, then you lose that advantage of having the better players. It's all over. You can go right. You can lose 7 games in a row. Right. And so that's my worry with Pineda, that we could do that. And do I think we're going to lose 7 games in a row? No, because I think our talent is so much better than most teams that that would be hard to imagine.
If they're healthy, I think they're going to drag us along to a decent spot.
But I think we're going to slide down the table some. And I think, we'll go back, maybe listen to our preseason prediction. I kind of predicted that we would be fighting for the last playoff spot.
Yeah.
And I think that I'm sticking with that at the moment.
Oh, really? Okay.
That's 9th place, I think.
It's not good because a lot of teams make the playoffs.
I feel like almost all of them.
And I think I think I'm being relatively consistent. I thought we had finished 6th.
Yeah, I think you had us slightly above where I had us.
Yeah, I had a 6th or 7th, I think, if I recall.
I think I was like 7, 8.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Elliot is positive. He's saying 4th. Is where he thinks we're going to end up.
Like I said, I think Elliot would be right.
There's so much parity that you don't have to be that good to be 4th.
That's it too. We don't have to be that good to be 4th. It's fair. And I think if we're healthy, that's probably right around where we're landing.
But Philadelphia is going to come back probably and get above us. I think Toronto is going to come up and get above us. Right.